Prepare yourself for stimulus check shock as they're talking about taking it all back. Now, take a look. I've been letting people on the channel know for quite some time with my stimulus check updates that a committee for a responsible federal budget has been tracking all of the stimulus spending from all of the previous stimulus packages. We have seen a total of $6 trillion, of which only $5.5 trillion has actually been used, which means there remains $500 billion of leftover funds, which is literally enough to go out and send a fourth stimulus check of $2,000 to everybody in the nation. And a lot of people have been asking me, Steve, what are they going to be doing with these leftover funds? That was meant to go out as stimulus provisions to help out people throughout the course of the pandemic, especially now that we've heard the state of emergency is going to be coming to an end in May. What is going to be happening to the funding? And I said, whatever would unfold, I'd let you guys know here on the channel, and prepare yourselves for what is coming out today. As take a look at this article. House Republicans float one spending cut in the debt ceiling bill, unspent COVID funds. Now, in this video, I'm going to be diving into all the details. You're not going to want to miss this. Stick with me throughout it so you can hear everything that's unfolding, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a spoiler alert. They're talking about recapturing and taking back that stimulus money. Now, let me know your thoughts. This was money that was meant to go out to help out the American people. And I've heard a lot of people say, yes, the pandemic is over. Others saying, no, people are still getting sick. But regardless, a lot of people saying we're still facing an economic crisis as a result of the pandemic, regardless of whether it's over or not. And right now, a little bit of additional financial assistance could go a long way for a lot of people. And there's $500 billion that was meant for that purpose that's still just sitting there. And now Congress is saying, let's take those funds. And a lot of people are saying, why can't we take the funds that are going out overseas or to these other programs? Where can we cut back on spending? Why are we taking the money of the American people? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, this has been proposed as of today. This is not official or final, just to clarify. I'm going to be sure to report to you guys whatever unfolds here on the channel. I'll cite all the sources, put it on the screen, and read right from it. Now, if you appreciate the updates, regardless of whether it's what you want to hear or not, if you could do me a favor, smash the like button. I'll keep you guys up to date. And if you want to stay up to date, hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell. But let's dive right in and get you caught up as to what has been proposed to try to offset some of the debt issues that we're currently experiencing. And now we're hearing that on the line is the existing stimulus check funds that were meant to go out to help out the American people. Now, as always, link in the description below to this article that just came out today, this morning, and I've been letting people know for quite some time there's this leftover funds. And now we're hearing some of the ideas of what they want to do with it, which is very unfortunate that it is not going to be going out to the American people. It would not be new spending, but let's take a look at the article so you can get caught up on this. House Republicans float one spending cut in a debt ceiling bill, unspent COVID money. Now, the article says there's no Republican plan, let alone a bill. So just to clarify, again, this is just currently being proposed at this time, just came out today, to resolve the debt ceiling problem. But some GOP lawmakers are floating one idea to include in a package rescinding approved but unspent COVID relief funds, which we've been tracking and is $500 billion. They're talking about taking it back. Taking back the unused pandemic response money certainly could be in the debt ceiling measure to avert default, said Tom Cole, representative, the chair of the Powerful Rules Committee. I would hope that we would look at that, Cole said. It's something that ought to be on the table. Representative Mike Kelly, who sits on the Ways and Means Committee that oversees taxes and large portions of the U.S. budget, said he's open to it. It would be insane for Congress not to look at options to cut red ink by nixing unnecessary spending, Kelly said. There's areas that we should not be spending and where we could actually either reposition or just not spend it and then bring down our debt, he said. We can make cuts that don't hurt people, Kelly added. The idea isn't yet ready for prime time in the GOP-run House, the Democratic-controlled Senate, or the White House. But it is the most specific Republicans have gotten in terms of what they'd like to attach to a debt limit hike, a question that GOP lawmakers have been notably vague on, even as they demand spending cuts as a concession to pay for the country's bills. The Treasury Department has set a June 5th deadline for Congress to act or breach the debt limit. So they have got to get this done. I've let you guys know that we have never had a default on our U.S. debt. And if we had that, it would be devastating, we're hearing. So they've got to get something done. And now they're thinking about including this COVID money to help offset the debt. Now, House Republican aides point to government estimates showing that $4.6 trillion has been authorized in COVID spending, but $4.12 trillion has actually been spent. That leaves about $500 billion in unspent funds, although a portion of that has been obligated to certain pots of money and may be difficult to return to the U.S. Treasury. Now, Representative David Schweikart, who we just recently heard gave us an update on Social Security and Medicare. If you missed that video, you're going to want to check it out as he breaks down the funding issues we're currently experiencing, especially with Medicare. He's the Ways and Means Committee member, and he signaled support for the idea, but he cautioned that there will be challenges in identifying and reclaiming the unspent money. Now, there's some disputes on what the dollar amounts actually are and what's actually technically obligated and what is not obligated. So even though the money has not been spent, a lot of it is claimed, it's earmarked to go out to certain programs. So they're saying that they couldn't actually grab all of the $500 billion. Now, because we have some states that put it in their rainy day funds, and there's specific language that you can't supplant it. So that's sort of a thing that you're going to have to dig into and figure out what's really there, what's going to be available for them to recoup and take back. Now, at an oversight committee hearing about federal pandemic spending on Wednesday, Representative Andy Biggs pressed the U.S. Government Accountability Office on how much money is actually left over and unspoken for. Now, as of November of 2022, there's about $157 billion unobligated funds, money just sitting there for absolutely nothing except for its original purpose of helping out with stimulus provisions. Unencumbered, unobligated, unspent, Biggs asked. That's right, said Dodaro. Now, on Capitol Hill, some Republicans believe a proposal like tapping excess COVID money could fall into a political sweet spot that adheres to both parties' red lines on the debt ceiling. It may satisfy GOP demands to cut some spending, though it won't come close to addressing conservative wishes to balance the budget. It's the sort of add-on that Democrats may be willing to dismiss as a fig leaf, given that it's unspent money, and especially as President Joe Biden seeks to declare victory against COVID. The White House said Biden made it clear on Tuesday in his meeting with Speaker Kevin McCarthy that preventing default is not negotiable or conditional. Most Democrats are standing with Biden, insisting that the debt ceiling be lifted without strings attached. Representative Rosa DeLauro of Connecticut, the top Democrat on the Appropriations Committee, said negotiating on the debt limit is a non-starter. But when asked broadly about the policy merits of spending certain COVID money back to the Treasury, she signaled openness to reviewing ideas. I have to take a look and see what has been obligated and so forth. I just want to see where that is. So much of that has been obligated, DeLauro said. McCarthy's office had no comment on the idea in a debt limit. At a press conference Thursday, McCarthy declined to say when Republicans will put pen to paper on spending cut plans. I'm not going to negotiate this in the press. I'm sorry, he said. As for a timeline, McCarthy said only that he and Biden expect to meet again after what he called a positive meeting. Whether COVID money recaptured is going to be part of the negotiations that the speaker is initiating, that remains yet to be seen, said Representative Mario Diaz-Balart. But as appropriators, we're going to be scrubbing everything. Schweikart said that recapturing COVID funds could be low-hanging fruit for Congress to target in the debt limit extension. Even around here today, he added, low-hanging fruit requires some intellectual gymnastics. So let me know your thoughts and take a look at the COVID money tracker so you can see it for yourself, you guys. I've been watching this for quite some time. It is the money that was meant to go out for the American people. The orange bar is the legislative action. And if we scroll down to the legislative action section, you can see here direct payments, aka stimulus checks. And when we click on it, you can see that there's been $869 billion that has been allowed, $823 billion that has been committed, and $822 billion that has been dispersed. Now, in addition to that, if we do the drop down, you can see each and every of the federal level stimulus checks that have gone out and the price tags for each of them. The last one of $1,400 was a $411 billion price tag. So as you can see, we could do more than $1,400 with a $500 billion excess leftover funds. The $1,200 stimulus check was almost $300 billion, and the second stimulus check of $600 was $164 billion. So with that in mind, we could get close to around a $2,000 stimulus check to everybody in the nation. I haven't actually checked the actual math on that, but it's going to be pretty close. But they're talking about taking it all back. Now, also take into consideration, some of it is earmarked for other items, like they said. So we will see. I will keep you up to date. Now, what is the likelihood that we even could have a fourth federal level check? Well, right now with our situation in Congress and with the pandemic coming to an end, It's very unlikely we would see a pandemic stimulus check, but check out this video right here as we hear that stimulus checks, they will come in the future, but it will be as a result of economic hardship and recessions. And in this video, I cover all the details and articles just coming out in the past 48 hours, giving all of the information about what we can expect to see. So check out that one next if you're interested in finding out more about stimulus checks. But with that being said, smash the like button, subscribe to stay up to date. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll keep you up to date on whatever happens. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.